Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode, I will show you how to use the SUMX function and the calculate function. Okay, let's start from our data. The most important part of our data is the orders table. And another table is the customer table and also the products table. And let's go to the data modeling. Okay, the data has been built in the modeling, okay, with the very simple way, the product ID and also the client ID. Then we will use this kind of linkage in our analysis. Okay, let's go back to the data. Okay, when we find this table, then we will have a strong motivation that probably we can do further calculation. We already got the each sales for the sales volume. If we have the sales price, then we can do further calculation for the sales revenue. That's correct. Okay. However, the the price of each product in this table, product table, but that can be linked by the product ID. Okay, because in the orders ID, orders table, we also got a product ID. That's the concept is just like the VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP in the Excel. Okay, but in the Power BI DAX, we have to use the function called related. Okay, let's build a new column. Okay, let's get the price. Okay, price is from related function. Then in which table? The table is called product table. Product table. Then what we need is the selling price. Okay, for sure, we got the price. Then that's easy. We can do further analysis for sales revenue. Okay, let's build a new table called sales. Sales means the volume multiplies by the price. Okay. Okay, it's done. Then we already know that the Power BI will calculate the total sales for us. But of course, we also can use the skills we already acquired in the first session by building the new measure. The new measure, we call it the total sales. Okay? We call it the total sales by a new measure. Okay, we call it the total sales. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, total sales means the sum for the sales. Okay, sales in the orders, the table. Okay, sales, we got that. Okay, let's have a quick look by the visualization. Okay, okay, this is the sales calculated automatically by the Power BI. Okay, let's show that by more details. Call out. Okay, then we go to the data format. Number thousand spread. Okay, then we can also create another one, but here we don't use the automatically calculated result by the Power BI, but to use the total sales from the new measure. We found that exactly the same. Okay, but here we found that if we want to get a result by the sum function, we need to build two new columns. If we cope with the million rows of the data, that means that cost a lot of time to build the new columns. Also occupied too much resources, CPU, or the memories of the laptop. At the same time, the report size could be too much, could be too large in the future to maintain. Okay, so for this kind of scenario, the best way to do it is to use another kind of new measure to get the result directly, but skip all of the steps. Okay, let's call it a new measure. Okay, for this new measure, we call it the total sales 2. Okay, this time we use the SUMX function. SUMX function. Okay, tab key. For the SUMX function, the first parameter is we have to tell the Power BI where the calculation should happen. Okay, so we need orders. Okay, the calculation should happen in orders table. Then in the orders table, we need firstly we need to use the volume column to multiply the prices data in the product table. So because the data is in the product table, so we have to use the related function, okay, to get the price, okay, setting price. Then because the related function is finished here, okay, so we put also another bracket. Okay, let's check the result, because we also can use that for the same format. So, but we change the data to the total sales 2. Okay, we find that exactly the same. This is the result calculated automatically by the Power BI. This is by the sum function. This is by the SUMX function. So we found that SUMX is the best solution for this kind of calculation, definitely. Okay, let's move a little bit further to the last part of this session. Okay, the last part is so-called calculate. Calculator is the most essential, the definite essential skills in a Power BI DAX. Okay, it's quite like the if. It's quite like the sum if function in the Excel, and also quite like the pivot table in Excel. And in the answer sheet, you will find out how to do that in Excel. But here we definitely use the Power BI DAX to realize the same purpose. Okay. For example, let's go to the product table. Here, there is stocks data. If we want to show the vegetable stocks, how can we calculate? If in Excel, that would be very easy. And if we just need to do the to pick up the vegetable together and to just put the data by the sum function. Okay, we also can use the, of course, we also can use the sum if function to pick up the data, then do the further calculation. We also can insert a pivot table. The 3 ways to realize that. But in Power BI, we just can use the calculate. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, still, we need a new measure. Okay, new measure. Okay, the new measure is called vegetable stocks. Vegetable stocks. Okay. Calculate table. Calculate table. The first parameter is to show the total, the sum of the stock. Okay, so we need that sum of the stocks. Okay, because sum is finished, sum function is finished, so we need to put comma. Okay, once we got the the stock of a product. Then we use the specific indicator to slice the stock data. Okay, here we need to use the category. Okay, the category equals the vegetable. Okay. Okay, let's go to show the result. Okay, for the vegetable, the result of the vegetable, that should be, okay, stocks of vegetable 1428. Let's have a quick look on the vegetable. Okay, 28, 1428. To do the mind calculation, that's definitely no problem. Okay, let's do a little bit of further calculation by the calculator function. Okay, let's go to the orders. Okay, if we want to show the revenue contributed by the client, it's client ID with the C10, the first client. Okay, how can we show that? Okay, let's go to build new measure. Okay, we call it a revenue from C10. Okay, client calculate, still calculate. The first parameter still need the total revenue, total sales, because we already calculated for the total test. We can put the total sales. We also can use the total sales too. That's no difference. Okay, and then we use the client ID to slice the data as the indicator to slice the data. Okay, client ID, orders, client ID. Okay, client ID must equals as a C10. Okay, let's have a look. Client ID. Product. It's a 466 kilo thousand 466,000. Okay, let's go to for further analysis. If we want to know the revenue from the specific customer, for example, from the nature still the C10. Okay, from the nature. Okay, from nature customer. Okay, how can we show that? Let's go back to the orders ID. Still the new measure, the revenue from customer, from nature. Okay, the customer client is called nature. Okay, still calculate. Okay, then total sales is the same as total sales too. Okay, and then the next parameter is to use the customer. Okay, in the customer table equals as the nature. Okay, let's see the customer table. Because the client 10 and the nature is the same one, so the result should be exactly as this one. Okay, let's do the double check. Okay, use card. revenue from the nature. Okay, that's no problem. And let's move to the last part of this session. If we want to know the revenue from the customer called C30 on the vegetables, how can we get a result? Let's go to the last part of this session. Let's get the revenue from client C30 for vegetables. Okay. Okay, let's show the result. Okay, calculate the total revenue. Then we need to use the two indicators to slice the data. One is the client ID, orders client ID equals C30. Oh, sorry. 30. At the same time, the product should be the product category. Product category should be the vegetable. Okay, let's do the last check. Okay, that's no problem. Okay, let's vegetable food 30. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, that's all for this session, and I will also put the answer sheet in the data link. You can check that in the Excel spreadsheet. In the Excel spreadsheet, I already show the final result by the pivot table. You can check the result. Thank you very much for your time. See you next session. Bye-bye.